right now.
Now? Now you say?
Now I say. Um,
Now.
so I guess that brings into what a lot of people have been asking, obviously, is how are you gonna... How can I say this? How can we fix clearly my mistake? And obviously a lot of ATA members were windowing and asking what are we gonna do about it to fix it. And to be quite honest, as I was researching it up, what one of the members said was quite on point, is that this problem stems way far beyond one particular group. Some do it out of the means to try to hide from spammers on a temporary level. I almost said something else.
But then it ends up fucking them over because it digs a grave for them that they cannot get out of.
Well, not only that, but some even did it as a mere mistake. And the one thing I've noticed is that the reason why Facebook claims that they don't want them changing it back to a less restrictive setting is because they assume that's what the people who are joining the group don't want. Which, the way I see it, is what right do they have to really make that decision?
Yeah.
And there is a huge burden right now, the way I see it, on Facebook group admins. I mean, there are spam bots who are getting smarter and smarter. I mean, shit, look at the fucking comment group, for crying out loud. Some of the spam bots in there are getting smarter, and instead of what they're doing, instead of making posts, is they're commenting on every single post they see with the link.
Which is terrible, and I'm not going to say what I call these spam bots. We'll just call, well, you know, for now, we'll just call them the Ray-Bans. You know, the Ray-Ban sunglasses? I was just making sure that everyone should know you should buy a pair because they're really trendy.
Because everyone totally needs one in December.
Yeah, you need them in December. You need them every single day. You need them every single month. Have a single Ray-Ban pair of sunglasses for every fucking month. One for December, one for January. You know.
And you even need one for the middle of the night.
Yep.
Because vision. But in all seriousness, as I was researching it, it was a problem that I've noticed was quite just deeper than our group. And hence the reason why we both talked about it and felt that we should make this video.
Because we would actually like to help out other groups, because there are actually a lot of good groups out there that really care about the community and they want their community to grow. But a lot of groups end up remaining dead because you're forced to secret. I'm not gonna lie. We've actually lost about 20 members, Michael. I'm pretty sure that they're the inactive members, but it's only been 20 members, and it's been how many days since you accidentally made the group secret? That's not a very big deal in my opinion, because it was probably inactive members, or maybe even spam bots. I don't know. But, you know, it still kind of halts production and the growth of the community. It can still grow for people adding their friends, but it's not gonna do much if those friends probably don't like anime or anything else for that matter. Some people don't like the topics that are posted about in groups, hence they leave. but it's better when people are able to request to join, but that's kind of hard when the group is secret, and a lot of groups, since they've been freaking stuck with this burden, kind of die out, or they just feel like there's no point anymore, and they just try making different groups, but then that group kind of backfires on them. It's kind of a huge burden for the group community, but since we don't trash on one another, we're like we're connected with other groups, we're friendly with other people in other groups. Yeah, sure, there are their fair share of assholes, but besides that, there's also some genuinely nice people who make it very fun to be in certain groups. So this is more or less for helping some of the community who want it to become like more of a, I guess, bigger thing or influence on Facebook. So this is mainly an instructional video on how to give proper feedback to help it to where not just our group, but other groups in the same vicinity that have the same problem as ours get their freaking burden lifted to where they can put the group back to the settings that they want.
Or even so customize it so that if they're dealing with spam bots, they have a last resort to close out the group long enough so that they can weed out the spam bots and then open the group back up, which has become a very, very major issue within Facebook these days. Not to mention, it kind of also, as I was researching it, it kind of brings about, like, if one admin really wanted to be a dick, all you would have to merely do is close off the group, because any mere admin can do it. And I actually have read a few cases where very, very large groups were closed off because of this. And back to the main point as to where the solution goes. I spent probably a good 5 hours going through FAQ boards, as well as just general message boards on Facebook, or what I just could find, period. And to be quite honest, there's really no way to just go on the phone and talk to them. And in all honesty, when I managed to find within 5 minutes is probably the best way possible. And I know, Folly, you actually have a lot of questions to ask me about this, and I'll let you ask me in a second. And the only major way I can see us helping just Facebook as a whole, Facebook groups as a whole, is if a lot of people just send feedback to Facebook about the groups on Facebook and just say what they want to see added in there, that they want to see implemented in there. And in all honesty, that's part of what my gripe about Facebook is that they assume what their users want instead of trying to let them control it themselves. But I'll let you go ahead and ask, Folly, what questions do you have about me or have to me about feedback in general, or because I know I haven't really explained anything to you, so
I'm assuming that you're going to provide a link, of course.
Correct. I'll have the link in the description to do it, and I'll as well try to step by step guide it through it, and I'll as well do it.
I'm pretty sure I can read like the information on how to give feedback, but tell me a bit of how my wording should be. Like, what I don't normally make formal like things, like send formal things to Facebook or any other group. At best, I've probably had some rather formal YouTube comments on anime reviewers, mainly because, of course, when you're an anime reviewer like me, you kind of want to, talk to other anime reviewers to learn, like, to get some tips. but I've only given like formal feedback in terms of like actually having a conversation with the person, but seeing as how I'm not having a direct conversation, I don't know how to give formal feedback, and I don't know how or what would be the proper wording to send into Facebook exactly. What isn't accepted and what is accepted.
In this particular case, keep in mind, again, we aren't just particularly doing this just for ATA itself.
We aren't. That's what I want to bring up. Everyone make sure to listen closely. We're not doing this just for ATA, so don't sit there and be single-minded and friggin' only talk about ATA. This is for other groups as well, god damn it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just making sure.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it either. It would be nice to have this issue fixed.
Yes, and for a lot of other groups, because there are some groups that need love too.
Which is pretty much exactly what it is. And as you're putting in the feedback, this is about other groups and just Facebook groups as a whole, because this is something that I genuinely feel needs to be done, and I know you do as well, Folly.
What do we need to put in the feedback? Like, do we need to put, like, we would like the issue of, groups going secret and their owners not being able to put them back to other, privacy settings such as open, closed, again, after setting it secret? I don't know how to word this. Is that kind of what you want to talk? Is that kind of what you want us to send into them? And we want that issue to be taken care of or lifted?
I'm looking at the feedback page right now. Pretty much what it is going to ask you is, it's going to ask you for, it'd be kind of similar to, a 1 to 5 star kind of deal, and then it wants you to go into a specific thing in which you would go to groups. As I'm going to say, I'm going to kind of guide it through and through in the description. Further below that is actually going to be the area where the feedback itself goes. Now, obviously, even more so, to kind of go into anything specific, like to say, allow for this group to be saved, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff in this particular case is going to render the point mute, because again, not only that, but again, this is for all groups. This isn't just for our group. Basically what it's going to have to wording is going to be is allow the admins of the page, or even more so particularly the owner of a group, to change the restricted settings from secret to open and vice versa, as a means to better combat against spam as well as other means to help govern the group better. Not necessarily to make it worse for its members, but to try to protect its members from situations the admin may not want to expose the group to.
Carry on.
And one such thing I'm going to imagine is people are going to, or I should say one such concern about this I have, is people are going to think that this may not work because they don't think Facebook's going to listen to them. There was a particular case a few years ago in which something was implemented because of feedback. And there are a lot of other changes that have been made because of feedback as well. One such change, which is actually the one I've been referring to, is to make it impossible for regular admins to remove an owner of a group. And the reason why this became so is because there was a lot of group hijackings done 2-3 years ago and so on, which some people took control of the group, who some of the members didn't necessarily want control of the group, or just that happened and all things just went haywire, out of control, and it just made things just bad for the group total. What had happened was someone put out a petition and submitted the feedback, and it was changed. This isn't something that's going to happen within a month. However, if a lot of people do this and say and be very close to how they want to say it, that they should allow, or how can I put this, that Facebook should allow the owners of groups to better customize how restricted the settings are. Like I said, from either way, back and forth, it will better solve this issue as well. Or if there's a wave of, God forbid, those spam bots that post porn. I'm pretty sure
I hate those spam bots. I do.
As do I. It helps control the group better because it can be like, okay, why don't we just scale back for a second? Because obviously, sometimes even what they'll do, once one gets in, they will just start inviting their friends. Or the spam bots will add other linked accounts in this particular case. Having it on secret for, say, a week makes it easier to isolate that. Because you know it's no longer just someone who merely looks up the group. Which is in one particular case where this would be really beneficial. And even so, it kind of eliminates the human error of just people who just make a stupid mistake. Is there anything else you want to ask about it?
No, I definitely, I can understand it. I'm pretty sure everyone else can as well.
With all that said, like I said, I'm going to have the link in the description. I'm going to try to best describe step by step where it needs to go, although once you hit that link, it will pretty much guide you in there because it's going to be a drop-down menu. You just select groups. Generally, what's going to hit their, what they're going to see the most is consistency. And I'll let you plug your mic back in before I talk. There you go. What's gonna hit, what they're gonna see most is consistency. If they see 40, 50, 60, however many people giving feedback saying that this is what they want, then that's what Facebook's gonna get their attention to. Especially if they see just a bunch of stars ranging from 2 to 3.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, if everyone works together to do this, you know what will actually be done at the end of the day? We'll be like the fairy tale of all groups. Every group will be fairy tale in like their own guild, and then you could talk about like your tastes in like everything. You could talk about anime, you could talk about like the real world, you could talk about Snooki, maybe you could even talk about your day. Don't you want to be asked how your day was? How is your day, people? You see, that's what we want for groups to be like. We want every group to be able to ask their members how was their day and not have something ignored. Most posts only get attention if it's something mainstream. Like, this isn't just fault for anime groups, because I'm not just talking about anime groups, but think about game groups. Oh my goodness, in gaming groups, what do you have to post? You have to post like Call of Duty or fucking Fallout or, I don't know, League of Legends and her 1010 real gamer right there. Like, that's pathetic, it's kind of saddening, but that's mainly because some groups just fail in, you know, growing as a community. So, this is what we as a community want for other groups to be like, for their communities to grow. So hopefully you give the proper feedback, and hopefully Facebook sees that. So make sure to check the link that Michael provides in the video description, and he'll guide you through it. He'll hold your hand, only if you hold our feels. Okay, but still.
But I will be saying one thing though before I close off this video. This isn't something that's going to be guaranteed.
Not going to be guaranteed.
Just because a lot of people do it does not guarantee that Facebook will do this. Because quite frankly, it is Facebook. They can do whatever they want.
They can. And we could do whatever we want. So if we want to if we want to sit there and jack off naked inside our bedrooms, then we could do that. If we want to sit there and shoot our semen outside the window, we can do that. If we want to go into other people's house and eat their croutons, we can do that too.
Yum, croutons. But, anyways...
I'm sorry. It's
like
just
I said,
that
this isn't a guaranteed thing to work. However, this is quite literally the best option. And
it is.
This is something I genuinely feel that needs to be just implemented in Facebook, period.
Yep. Well, shall we be wrapping up this video now?
Yes, we do.
Wait, hold on. I'm Folly the Broken Record, and this is Michael, otherwise known as Micklemore. And this has been ATA, All Things Anime and Manga. Don't be afraid of us. Just embrace us, because we're normal people just like you. Well, maybe not me. I'm a semen demon.
Please be sure to like, comment, and especially share.
Or subscribe.
For this is something that's quite literally we're trying to start a movement here. This is what we want to do. We want everyone to get involved in this. If you know someone who's had a group and just made the same mistake we did, the same mistake I did, and they wants to revive their group, if you have we want to fucking get Facebook together and quite literally change Facebook for the better.
Yep.
Right now, to be honest with you, there's a lot of other good social medias out there, but there's none that
are massive as Facebook.
Well, not necessarily just as massive,
I'm kidding.
But just as individually recognizable. When you have Tumblr, when you have Twitter, you have all this. It's each individual blog. It's not like Facebook where you have your own individual page. It's not like you're trying to be like some random blogger. You're just trying to share who you are with your individual friends. And if you want to branch out into something and find people of like-mindedness, that's what groups are for.
That's what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah.
Now with that said,
okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to seem legit.
Like I said, this is ATA, and we'll see you guys.